Hello, my wonderful spirit guides. Today I'm going to be doing a patron request, and that is for JOANNA NEWSOM, Wise. It's Y, the letter Y in capital, and then the letter S in small, lowercase. So I imagine it said like Wise rather than YS, but I don't actually know. And I don't know if I'll find out. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to it. Actually, thinking about it, Wise, if it said like wise, then that's interesting because it's like the word wise, W-I-S-E, like wisdom. Huh, that's kind of cool if it's something to do with that, but I don't know. But anyway, the full album is actually on YouTube. It's only 5 songs, but the album is about an hour long, nearly an hour. So they're going to be long songs. I'm really interested. I'm definitely going to be getting lyrics up for this one because obviously I've heard Monkey and Bear. I say obviously. If you haven't seen it, please do check it out on the channel. I'll probably put it in one of the little thingy malinkies up here during the video, so watch out for it. But I'm looking forward to it. Okay, I've got some lyrics up. I'm not on Genius, so I don't have a lot of it won't be telling me about what it's all about or anything, but I'm just going to kind of flow with it. If you'd like to become a patron, please do. The bottom tier is the price of a cup of coffee a month, and you get to watch uncut videos and early access most of the time as well. And then you also get to watch live stream recaps. And then if you go in the middle tier, you can join in live streams, and we have recently started doing themed live streams, so like different types of music, different feelings, different vibes. It's just a lot of fun, and so on. And I do about 1 to 2 a month. I like to do 2, but sometimes it's only 1. But then you also get all the uncut content as well. And then the top tier is album requests. If there's room, then of course, go for it. But yeah, follow me on Instagram and I shall follow you back. Like and subscribe, comment, let me know what you think of the video. I love, as much as I like hearing about the artist, I love hearing what you thought about the video because it really helps me stay motivated, inspired. It just gives me a nice feeling of that I'm doing a good job and so on like that. You're technically my boss. But anyway, let's go for it. The first song is called Emily. Time to flatten the hair. It looks kind of funny now, but oh well. I always do this. I do something with my hair and then go, well, I'm going to put big fat headphones on, but yeah, so it's going to be ruined, but who cares? Right, anyway, let's get into it. First song, Emily.
The meadowlark and the chimchuree and the sparrow, little while later the Pharisees dragged a comb through the meadow.
I'll never get over her voice.
Rusty light on the pines tonight, churches and the spires of the churches jutting out from the shadow.
Oh, sorry, but just that little bit of croak in her voice. It's so emotive. It sounds like she is crying a little bit, but not crying, but just very it's a bit of grief in there. I don't know why, but just that little remorseful or sorrow. I can't think of the word, but it's just got that real melancholic tone with that bit of gravel in there. Absolutely stunning. It's really hard when I read the lyrics during. Sometimes I can't capture all the lyrics, especially if they're very poetic. As in, I can't capture the story, but I'm just going to keep going.
Shadow, yoke and the axe and the old smokestacks. We've seen those mountains kneeling, felting and grey.
Oh, I like that.
And the stirring of wind chime in the morning,
Wow. ooh, that's kind of scared me when it came in, but like not in a horrible way. It was like impactful. So I'm getting a bit lost in this actually. I'm not like, I kind of felt like I don't even want to look at the lyrics. I just wanted to close my eyes because there's quite a lot of beautiful sounds going on with the strings along with the melody of the vocal and all the other plucking sounds that actually I just want to fall into the song and listen and not focus too hard on what is being said, because I don't think I'm going to get it right off the bat, and I'm okay with that as long as you are. You know, hopefully you are, but it's the way I want to listen. And her voice, it's just so mesmerizing because I just want to hear every little thing she does next. It's so unique.
I dream you were skipping little stones across the surface of the water.
Wow.
In a mud cloud, mica spangled like the sky, been breathing on a mirror.
Wow, those lyrics.
That the meteorite is the source of the light, and the meteor's just what we see. Is the light and the meteor's how it's perceived.
Wow.
And the meteoroid's a bone thrown from the void that lies quiet, an offering to thee.
That's so cool. I actually found the more I let go with trying to read them so like deeply, those lyrics kind of stood out to me more. That moment of closing my eyes, I could actually picture what she was saying with the skimming of the stone across the water and how it like submerged and was gone forever sort of thing, and how she sat by her friend or whoever Emily is, and she got taught about the stars and she wrote them down. I could see it all very vividly then. And now with this meteoroid thing, and that's interesting. Meteorite, meteoroid, meteors, all about how it's perceived as one thing but really it's another, but we all perceive it that way, and so on. And it might be a huge metaphor for something in her life, or like something might look a certain way but under the surface it's different, or there's more to it. I love it. I think that's what I'm getting from it anyway.
You came and lay a cold compress upon the mess I'm in.
Wow.
The lines are fading in my kingdom.
The way it's
The
moving.
muddy mouths of baboons
like a circle.
and sows in the grouse and the horse in the hand. Rope the talking town becoming downright sickening. In due time we will see the far.
This bit reminds me of really early Marina.
There
I got goosebumps.
and go through the night.
Ooh, I'm cold.
So healthy. And say in the lee of the bay, don't.
I'm absolutely obsessed with the bloody orchestra. It is fantastic. Those strings, the way they move, it's not just a movement of this, you know, they move together like bees, or, you know, like a swarms, in the way they move round. And like when it was clustered earlier, it really felt like it was going in this circle, like I was so in the middle of the circle, and the music surrounded it like a beautifully crafted kind of wreath. Not a Christmas wreath, but like an autumnal or springtime wreath where it's all twigs and butterflies and birds. I don't know, it's just something that felt very earthy and beautiful like that. And now we're coming back in with those strings and the way they move. And that wasn't the point I wanted to make before that happened. I wanted to say, like, I know I mentioned this before, but she has such a childlike voice, but it's also a very mature voice. It's the most interesting voice in the sense that it has such a old soul and maturity to it, but such a cute, sweet, childlike nuance as well. It's so interesting.
Be father, leave your troubles here where the tugboats shear the water from the water.
I also very briefly want to say it reminded me of old Marina, because I used to listen to Marina and the Diamonds when I was younger, and I used to look into all her like unreleased stuff, and it was very different. She would do a lot more interesting things with her voice and stuff, like, and no, you know, those kind of little falsetto flips and so on, and just interesting more like melodies and so on with the piano, and would change up a lot more and would have very interesting lyrics that didn't make a total sense to the listener but did to her. If you don't know it, I very much suggest you listen to the song Plastic Rainbow by Marina and the Diamonds. Just search it up and you'll see what I mean just through that song. Obviously this is its own thing. This embodies the this type of genre, embodies that medieval kind of feeling, whereas like Marina's song has also elements of pop and rock inside it, but very much has a little bit of this. Yeah, I really suggest you go listen to it. So that's Plastic Rainbow by Marina and the Diamonds.
And I make this climb and I'm not ashamed to say I knew you better.
Oh, I like that.
What they've seen is just a beam of your sun that vanishes winter.
Oh, gorgeous.
Though there is nothing would help me come to grips with a sky that is gaping and yawning.
Oh, beautiful.
There is a song I woke with on my lips as you sailed your great ship towards the morning.
Oh, it's so beautifully written.
Deep I know, blossom all have fallen.
It's very melancholic here again.
Pollen ruins the plow with hydrocephalic listlessness. Ants mop up their brows.
Oh,
And everything
God, the
with
lyrics.
wings is restless, and my clay-colored mother
The tempo.
listless strangely reclines.
it's like getting faster.
Come on home now, all my bones are dull, the rest we find with time tonight. The way the ladle leads to a dirt red bullet of light,
I'm so into this.
with our heads caught in the broad daylight at this thing, joy.
Oh,
And if this was the meteorite, it's the source of the light, and the media is just what we see.
right, I'm just going to pause for a minute. God, I'm locked in. Oh, it really is just storytelling. I'm being told a story, and it's so beautiful in the way it's written. I'm really really noticing some lines just pop through in such a extraordinary fashion of like poetry, and it's just, oh, I love it so much. It's so emotive and fantastical, and just like I said, I don't understand the full story, but I could pick up on some of the lines. I could feel what they mean. The whole verse, or like the whole, you know, little stanza of "Come on home, the poppies are all grown knee deep by now. Blossoms all have fallen, and the pollen ruins the plough." That whole little moment there was so visceral. You could see it, and just like the whole with hydrocephalic listlessness, ants mop up their brow. Ah! What a line, because like ants are such hard workers and so on. It's just interesting. I don't know, there's something about that really just got me, and like how melancholy that whole bit sounded. And I thought it's so funny how it sounds so melancholic when what she's describing is, to me, springtime. You know, it sounds like spring to fall, spring to autumn. In a way, that's what it sounded like to me, and it felt like a lot of time had passed by, and she's asking Emily maybe to come home and be with her. She's almost like, okay, come on now. It's like she's really missing her and waiting for her or something. I really love this. Butterflies and birds collide at hot ungodly hours. Oh, these lyrics, just beautiful. And then she talks about her dad. Pa pointed out to me for the 100th time tonight the way the ladle leads to a dirt red bullet of light. That's interesting. Ladle leads a dirt red bullet of light. What does that mean? Squint skyward and listen, loving him, we move within his borders. That's interesting too. Is she talking about her dad there? Or is she talking about God or something? Like, loving him, we move within his borders. Like, maybe she's relating them both as the same thing, God and dad. And it being like, you know, within his borders, within his realm, and within what his rules and his ways, that they can love him within those borders. But if they are to go out of those borders or think too hard about the things they don't like, then the love kind of falls out as well. Like, just a difficult kind of relationship with your parent, but you love them. I don't know, I'm obviously getting interesting things. I don't know entirely what it's about, but I'm just picking up things that I felt spoke to me in that moment. And I could be completely wrong, but that's what music's about. It's art. You interpret it the way you want. But in the notes here, it does say Emily is Joanna's younger sister, and she's the one who also sings the vocal harmonies on the track. Oh, yeah, I was thinking about Dirt Red Bullet of Light, and there's a comment here that says, am I the only one who thinks the Dirt Red Bullet of Light refers to Betelgeuse? I've always supposed it did, but it'd be nice to know if others agree. And the ladle is the Big Dipper. That is what someone else said. I don't know a lot about the star situation, but if that might be a star thing as well, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'll look it up. Yeah, Betel. I don't know how to say it. Betelgeuse? Okay, it also called Alpha Orionis, second brightest star in the constellation Orion, marking the eastern shoulder of the Hunter. Okay, so that sounds cool. And then the ladle being the Big Dipper. Okay, that's very cool. So it's a star reference. Okay, like that. It could take me absolute hours to look into all what the lyrics mean though, so I'm certainly not going to be doing that. I'll probably do that on my own time because I'm interested, but anyway, yeah, let's finish the song. You're pretty. Oh, so delicate. It's almost like light rain falling on a window. It's like winter. It feels like winter. Absolutely mesmerising and beautiful. The next song is Monkey and Bear, which I have heard. Okay, so yes, I have heard Monkey and Bear. I'm certainly not going to skip it, but I don't know if I'll have a lot to say about it just because I have literally already reacted to it.
They woke from a stable boy's cry. Said, someone come quick, or faint
They'll die.
So, my bride, here is my hand, where is your paw? Try and understand my plan, Ursula. The Shuriken with artless hustling, but Ursula, we've got to eat something and learn our keep while still within.
It hurts me, this one.
I swear by the air I breathe, sooner or later you'll bury your teeth. But for now, just dance, darling. Come on, will you dance, my darling?
It's so sad.
Oh, darling, come on, will you dance, my darling? Oh, the hills are groaning with excess, like a table ceaselessly being set. Oh, my darling, we will get there yet.
I do want to just say the melody of this song is so gorgeous. It's got so many, like, obviously it's got that medieval sound, but it's also got very like little bluesy moments in there as well, and that just run along those like scales a little bit, that mode. And it feels dark, and you can see it being sang in like a kind of in a tavern sort of thing.
Your feast is to the east, which lies a little past the pasture.
I love
And the
that.
blackbirds here to whistle and then rise and clap, and their applause cause the kettle black. But still, they had had got to pay the bills, hadn't they? That is what the monkey'd say. Bear would sway on her hind legs, the organ would grind dregs of song for the pleasure of the children who'd shriek, throwing coins at her feet and recoiling in terror. My darling, dear mine, if you
Beautiful.
dance, darling, and I love you still. Early light where the monkey shouldered his
I love
lamb.
this part.
Someone had told him
I mean,
that
it's
they
sad,
had
but the
been wandering
melody.
a fair piece away. And the thought troubled the monkey, for he was afraid of spelunking down in those caves. Also afraid what the village people would say if they saw the bear in that state. But far out, by now, far out, by now, bear plow, 'cause she would not drown. Then the outside arms of the bear fell off as easy as if sloughed from boiled tomatoes. Lord, in a genteel courtesy, bear shed the mantle of her Diluvian shoulders. Left there, one bear, left there, one bear, step clear of the bear. Sooner or later you'll bear your teeth.
God. Very sad. Oh, I just felt just very emotional, isn't it? Because like it's a very sad tale of exploitation, you know, and it's just horrible. And manipulation and control and promises of something wonderful, you know, that hope and belief in someone that you love that's really just exploiting you. It's just very sad. And when you do picture it as like a bear as well, if you're like an animal lover like I, you kind of, I don't know, it's just like very sad. And yeah, it just made me feel a bit sad. Obviously I've heard the song before, but I didn't know the full context of it until afterwards and so on. And I remember hearing it again after I remembered the context and being emotional as well. And now it's again emotional. Oh, right. That is a wonderful song though. Sorry, like most of my reactions out was just like trying not to cry. Right, anyway, the next song, Sawdust and Diamonds. I wonder how that's going to sound. Is it going to be sad? I don't know.
From the top of the flight of the white stairs, do you wait for me there? Drop a bell down the stairs, hear it fall forevermore.
Oh, wow.
Hear it fall.
Wow.
Forevermore.
That's beautiful. Wow. That's impressive.
Blotted out in the sea. Drowning mute as a rock.
It's interesting how much like she's pulling out the vocals in this one rather than going quite fast with the vocal lines. This feels a bit more drawn out, telling a very sad and melancholic story once again, and you can actually hear the vulnerability in her voice here again, but in a different way. Whereas before, obviously she's still got that like creak in her voice, that little bit of crackle, you know, but it's more of a I don't know, it's like different levels of sad throughout like the different voices, and this one has something very just like sad. I don't know the other word. I don't know another word for it right now.
Sounding mutiny.
Again, it is sorrowful though.
There's a light in the wings. It's a system of strings from the side while they swing. See the wires, the wires, the wires.
Wow.
And the little white dove made with love, made with love, made with glue and a glove and some pliers. Swings a low sickle arc from its perch in the dark. Settle down, my desire. And in the furthermost shake, though they murder and stake, and I cleft me right down through my center.
Wow.
Push me back into a tree.
I don't know why it's making me so emotional. It just all the sounds together are so beautiful and painful at the same time.
My buttons with salt, please. Oh, you would not.
Oh.
No, you would not.
That sounds lovely.
And then the system strings tugs on the tip of my wings, cut from cardboard and old magazines, makes me warble and rise like a sparrow. And then a slow lip of fire moves across the prairie with precision, while somewhere with your pliers and glue you make your first incision. And in a moment of almost unbearable vision, doubled over with the hunger of lions, hold me close, cooed the dove who was stuffed now with sawdust and diamonds.
What I'm getting from this song is it sounds like animals that have been stuffed, but also like wood that is being burned, but all these things of that were once living are now dead. It's the feeling I'm getting. Or whether it's maybe not anything to do with the wood. Obviously she says, push me back into a tree, buy my buttons with salt. So like, obviously maybe it's an animal that belonged in a tree, if you know what I mean. But it's definitely a lot to do with, you know, taxidermy. I believe.
Sparrow, perch and play, songs a long face. Lift your long face.
It's so lovely.
And the bones, they may break and our souls separate. Why the long face? And our bodies recoil from the grip of the soil. Why the long face?
It's making me so emotional. What the hell?
And it's we pale-faced and grave. And it is the damnable bell.
Oh, gorgeous.
It tolls for me, and it tolls for me, and they will recognize all of the lines of your face in the face of the daughter of my daughter.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
darling, we will be. I wasn't born of a whistle or milked from a thistle at twilight. No, I was all horns and thorns, sprung out fully formed, knock-kneed and upright. So enough of this terror, we deserve to know light, and grow ever more lighter and lighter. You would have seen me through, but I could not undo that desire. From the top of the flight of the wide white stairs, through the rest of my life, do you wait for me there?
Oh, that's beautiful. Whereas I don't know exactly what the song's about, and like, you know, obviously I thought of kind of taxidermy sort of thing, but then, you know, the whole song kind of came about. death in general, you know, and you know, just those last lines, like from the top of the, well, from the very start of the song when she mentioned the wide white stairs, I could picture that being the stairs to heaven, you know, or you know. So I already thought there's something about death, and with the bell that falls down the stairs and forevermore, I thought that was interesting. And how the bell kind of comes back and she hears it tolling of her, is that, you know, is the bell, you know, like death, you know, and the sound of it tolling for her is her time to go. And then when she also says about, like, you'll see that in the lines of the face of the daughter of the daughters of my daughter, you know, just the generations, you'll always live on through the genetics sort of thing. It all just suddenly became about death, and yeah, it's just sad but beautifully done. And sometimes I was emotional, I didn't know why. Just the like I said, the collection of sound, how beautiful it was, and her vocals and the way she sang, just beautiful. And then of course at the end, like, through the rest of my life, do you wait for me there on the top of those white stairs, like someone who may have died before her. And I guess she's just wondering if they'll wait for her at the top of those white stairs so they can be joined when she dies or whatever. The whole thing just had like lots of references to death, and yeah, I guess that's kind of fucking emotional, right? I might try and find actually what someone might have said the song is about fully, or what she might have, because that one, I'm kind of interested. Yeah, so when I was trying to keep these tears back, very much so, but you know, when you just can't anymore. Yeah, that's just what happened, and fuck it, my makeup's a mess now, but I don't care. Oh, I do apologise. I'm just going to blow my nose. Oh, right. I've just found the lyrics on Genius, actually. I couldn't see the whole... I don't know why I couldn't find it on Genius before, I just couldn't. Okay, so it does say Sawdust and Diamonds, the third track on Wise, is about dealing with the grief of losing a child. God, why do that? Joanna grapples with her own mortality as well as the unpredictable potential pain that comes with relationships, desire and motherhood. Yeah, I know, there was a lot going on, and it was interesting because at first I was just thinking of this bird that had been stuffed, and I was thinking that's sad as it is, but then it all kind of unravelled as like death in general, and like it said as well, desires and pain that comes in relationships. I could feel a lot of that too. I forgot to mention though. But death of a child, that's so sad. It's like my worst nightmare. Obviously something that any parent has to even think about, but God, now I'm a mess. I'm sorry, Jesus, I'm like fucking breaking down here. Yeah, she actually says about the white stairs at the very start of the song, you know, the "Do You Wait For Me There" at the start of the song, and obviously at the end, but it all made more sense at the end after listening to it all. There's actually quite a lot here on Genius, if you didn't know already, but just loads of like all the lyrics being talked about in certain ways of different contributors, which I think is wonderful. I'm not going to go through it all now. I don't think I actually can. I'm too sad. I'm okay though. I'm not like, it's just sad. What can I say? Oh, bloody hell. I don't often cry at music, but I don't know what it is. Some just get me, you know? Some just get me. I'm just going to have some paracetamol because crying also gives me a headache. Oh, bloody hell. Thank you to the patron who requested this. You also requested the Monkey and Bear before, and you were, well, yeah, you saw I liked it and you requested the album, and definitely has made me sad. And it's so funny because we, like, the patron who requested this, we were on the live stream, and lot of us were all talking about like, oh, we need to do a live stream of Make Fun Cry live stream, which sounds hilarious, but you know, I was saying like I don't really cry at songs very much. I guess I just haven't heard sad songs enough, like too many sad songs that are like beautiful in that way as well. But yeah, I've already cried before we get to that live stream, and I've cried before in videos as well, but you know, I'm really crying at this one. All right, come on, let's not be doing this all day. There might be more songs to cry at. Can I handle it? I don't know, but I'm gonna fucking do it anyway. I'm in it now. Oh, right. Next song is called Only Skin.
And there was a booming above you that night as you strained and you squinted to see the retreat of their hairless and blind cavalry. Sky was a bread roll soaking in a milk bowl, and when the bread broke, fell in bricks of wet smoke. For alive you will evermore be, and the plague of the greasy black engines a skulking has gone east, running to where I'm unfresh, undressed and yawning. Well, what is this craziness, this crazy talking? Beneath his breathing there is cold clay forever, a toothless hound dog choking on a feather that blooms but one day a year. By the riverside I'd bring it here.
Ooh, yeah.
Apply it gently to the love.
Okay, interesting. Obviously I've gone quite far into it without pausing, but I don't know, I'm just so in it now. I don't know. I'm just trying to listen. Sometimes it takes me a moment to grasp what is being said and done, and so on. But anyway, like this one does have a bit more of, say, a joyous feel to it. Well, it's definitely not so melancholic, and it has something, again, of an adventure, maybe a bit more of a tale, a story time that doesn't feel too horrible yet, but it still has something in there, that a message, I believe, but I'm going to find out afterwards. I'm not going to try and dismember it yet.
Apply it gently to the love you've lent me.
That's gorgeous.
In a string soft.
Ooh,
Is it cut through the hustling breeze?
that is gorgeous. The way she
And I
describes
watched
things.
how the water was kneading so neatly, the coil and flush along the muscles beneath.
She describes.
Sun.
She literally, like, what she very much personifies objects, or, you know, nature, you know, anything. She personifies things that don't have personality, if you know what I mean. Like a fishing line doesn't have a personality, but it's sobbing, you know, it's personifying it. And that is what causes for such emotion, and you can really picture it in your mind. It's so clever, and it lets you be imaginative whilst listening. You get to picture what that might look like for you.
Restless thing, jot full of ink until you sink into your crib. I heard your song before my heart had time to hush it. Smell of a stone fruit being cut and being open. Fire moves away, sun. Why would you say I was the last one? When I cut your hair and leave the birds all of the trimmings, I'm the happiest woman among all women.
Beautiful.
In the shadow been along, the seagull weeps so long.
Wow.
I'm in a threshing song unto you. Out at the edge of town, candy weighing both of my pockets down till I can hardly stay afloat from the weight of them, and knowing how being a woman, but always up the mountain side, you're clambering, groping blindly, hungry for anything. Little sister, he will be back again. I have watched 1,000 spiders down the drain. Spiders go saying, soaked and dangling, and be a woman, be a woman.
That's so interesting. That whole like bit, little sister, he'll be back again. But the spiders she talks about sounds like maybe boyfriends, you know, like people that her sister has fallen in love with or something. And she's saying that she's basically had to wipe away those spiders, flush them down a sinkhole, and pick up the pieces when her sister's left heartbroken. It kind of sounds like that to me. And it's interesting as well, like you know, it sounds like she talked about her son and so on. Cutting his hair makes her feel really happy, and him climbing up things and causing a mess, and she's there like carrying pockets full of candy, and it's heavy. It's all like the things that she does for people, and the things that, and a lot of it's like she's saying that's being a woman. That's what you do. That's what being a woman is. You do all these things, and you look after people and pick up pieces. I don't know exactly, but that's what I'm getting from it so far.
We weren't afraid because we know what you are, and you know that we know what you are.
It's so gorgeous.
Awful and total, incalculable, and are you mine?
That sounds so beautiful.
My heart, mine anymore.
Oh.
Failing this,
Oh.
follow me, my sweetest friend. Back on the patio, watching the bats bring night.
Oh, that's gorgeous. The bats bring night in.
And though you die, bird, you will have a fine view.
Oh, I love that.
In my hot head, she slumped her sick way. We tramped through the poison oak, heartbroken in Kuwait, where she'd lying as still as a stone in my palm for a lifetime or two.
Oh.
Then saw the treetops, cocked her head and up and flew in. Back in the world that moves often according to the holding of these clues. And the cities we passed were a flickering wasteland, but his hand in my hand made him hale and harmless. Life is thundering, blissful towards death.
That's
in a
so amazing.
stampede of his fumbling green gentleness.
That is so gorgeous. Okay, I'm just going to pause a minute. Absolutely wonderful lines, and it sounds like and the cities we passed were a flickering wasteland, but in his hand, in my hand, made them hale and harmless. That I love that. I just love it. It's so wonderful. But for a minute there, you know, when it said the hoarding of these clues, dogs still run roughly around little tufts of finch down. It's something to do with, like, you know, dogs will be dogs, birds will be birds. That's nature. That is the cycle of life. That's just what happens. The dog isn't bad, and the bird isn't innocent. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. That's kind of just how I hear it. But I love how, like, the bird up and flew, which I thought was kind of like a happy moment for once. But also made me think of, like, for some reason, something to do with even the dangerous things are like, even things that could be dangerous can be soft, you know, but in his hand, in my hand, made them hale and harmless. That whole bit just made me think of dogs, right, in general, and like, how in the right hands they can be lovely creatures, in the wrong hands they can be horrible creatures. You know, it's not horrible creatures, but aggressive. A dog, do you know what I mean? I'm never horrible, like, I never want to associate that word with any animal, but you know what I mean? Like, there's something about it that is making me think of that, and just trying to save the bird was just so sweet, you know? And I love that, like, if you do die, you'll have a fine view. I thought that was so cute. But then now here, life is thundering blissful towards death. Oh, how wonderful is that? Just like thundering for one, which is like a big, it's like a bit chaotic thunder. It's not dainty or delicate. It's a little bit messy, but it's blissful, she's saying as well. So it's like this blissful kind of chaos, which is life. It's the both. It's the good and the bad. The whole song feels like a, you know, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, the balance of the both. And then here, in a stampede of his fumbling green gentleness. Oh, again, just matching the line. I love it. I love it so much.
And when you waved, I was gone. See, I got gone when I got wise.
Like the album name, but the actual word wise.
Say we survived.
I do feel as well that within moments of this song, she does talk about a lover of a relationship and it being like yearning for him, but also it being a little bit difficult, maybe. I think like that whole section about a gun, that made me think of a relationship, you know, where a gun is dangerous and she's saying lay down your gun and so on. Let's not make this dangerous, let's not make this toxic. I don't know, but I felt like that whole section was to do with someone she was in love with.
And down and deeper, stuck without sound. And when the fire moves away, fire moves away.
Oh.
And why?
I'm very interested in what that's about. That little, those 4 lines, you know.
Oh, my bones, they are gone, gone, gone.
Oh, that deeper vocal. Wow. Cherry stone.
We upon the spot for the starving of me. Across the desert, no shoes on. I love you, here I am.
No one. Wow, that whole section was fantastic. And yeah, it sounds like she's died of starvation, and it's like the circle of life till a fine young cherry tree, you know, grows up a fine young cherry tree from where she'd been buried, you know. That is so interesting, and I love you or I love no one. I love that so much too. Oh, it's wonderful. Again, a lot about death, but this one not so sad. In a way, well, it's still sad, but it's also like the circle of life and so on.
Fire moves away. Why would you say that I was the last one? And if the love of a woman or two, dear, could move you to such heights, then all I can do is do, my darling, right by you.
Another absolutely incredible fucking song. It just is. I'm going to see what is written about it. I felt like it was such a collection of stuff that was going on. Like, I felt like it was about a few things. again, like the story moved in ways where it felt like, yeah, like a story does. It doesn't always stay on the same theme. There are moments, there are chapters in a story, and it felt like that's what, not only the songs being long, right, but it feels like the song is really always talking in real time about things that are happening, just with the description and the way you feel like you're there and you're like seeing all these things. And it's crazy to me to think that an hour and a half has gone by. And I've said before, like, oh wow, it didn't feel like that long, but this one truly, I really feel like it has not been an hour and a half. Time has kind of stood still, because I'm almost living on the time of JOANNA NEWSOM right now through these songs. The only time is the story that she's giving, and like, you know, where it is night and then it's day and it's morning, and you know, all within the song I can picture it there, and that's where I am with it. Apparently she has said there were 4 very big things that happened in my life in this particular year, and so 4 of the songs on the album are about these things. The 5th song, Only Skin, was an effort to talk about the connections between the events. Oh, interesting. So really that is all like kind of connecting everything she has talked about, and I guess that makes sense, because she talked about her son. I felt like she was talking about a man. I felt like she was talking about death. You know, a lot of those things were happening. She also talked about Emily, her younger sister, as well. So like there were a lot of things, absolutely. I wish there was more to it. Someone has written, I managed to find a different interpretation of it pretty much every time I listened to it, and it would seem from the comments that everyone else has their own meaning as well. Yeah, see, that's what I love about it, and everyone does think of different things. But wow, again, phenomenal. Not done a reaction video quite like this. I suppose I haven't heard songs quite like this, in this way. I mean, of course, there's elements of Bjork there, but still, it's a whole different thing in itself. But, oh my God. Wow. Okay, the last song, Cosmia. Also, the sun has decided to come out. That's why it's so blastingly bright now. Oh, yeah, sorry, because I was interested. When I read and when the fire moves away, sun, why would you say I was the last one? I remember I was quite curious about those lines. So I have actually clicked them on Genius and thought I'd actually give them a little look. And someone has written, if the lines before this refer to a miscarriage, the pit of the stone fruit represents the fetus in her womb, which died and figuratively gave off a burning smell like the flames of life going out. And the line after this refers to losing a baby that was still only skin, but still made such a sweet sound. Then I think I know what these lines mean. So now the lines that I referred to, we're going to talk about. If Joanna can't have a child when the fire moves away, why would her spouse still want to be with her? He wants a baby, but she can't have one, so maybe she shouldn't be the last woman in his life after all. Oh, so that's really, she's talking to her lover, being like, why am I the last one? You know, like when I can't even have a baby. You know, that little bit of sadness and esteem being lost from losing the baby, which is unbelievably awful, and I'm very sorry that happened to her. Awful. But okay, anyway, I don't want to get too emotional before the last song. Okay, Cosmia.
Petals, red, brown circles, frame your eyes and sting your knuckles.
Wow, sounds like someone's been hurt, like black eye, but also bruised knuckles.
And all those lonely nights down by the river brought me bread and water in. But though I tried so hard, my little darling, I couldn't keep the night from coming in.
and that's the night. The music is almost as if it is the night coming in.
Why? And I will sleep through the rest of my days, and I'll sleep through the rest of my days.
Oh. It's gorgeous.
Can you hear me? Will you listen? Don't come near me, don't go missing.
Sounds like she's talking about the stars. Yeah, actually, thinking about it, it feels like the whole thing is about the stars, and like, I cannot keep the night from coming in really is like, you know, the stars kind of going behind a cloud or disappearing, you know, and the stars are like what help her through the night, and so on like that. Sorry, I got an itchy ear. That is amazing, and it maybe Cosmia is, well, the cosmos, but I don't know if Cosmia is another kind of constellation. I don't know. I'll have a look. I don't know. I think Cosmia is like a type of moth, actually, and she did mention moths, so that's interesting. Alright, let me carry on.
Though I tried so hard, my little darling, I couldn't keep the night from coming in. Beneath the porch light, we've all been circling, but in the corner, something is happening. Wild Cosmia, what have you seen?
Wow.
Water were your limbs and the fire was your hair.
Sounds like she is talking about a moth here.
Well, if you've seen true light, then this is my prayer.
Ooh. The next line.
Will you call me when you get there?
Oh.
And I miss your precious heart to its faithful precious heart.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, at first I thought it was about the stars, but now I believe it's about a moth completely, and there might be something to do with the stars in there too, like what they mean to her as well. But it's so funny how I get like a little thought halfway through and then I get a different thought towards the end. My thoughts are all over the place with it because it's just, I can't tell, you know, what it's about like straight away. And I think that's also to the point where it has, each song has like a million meanings, a million stories within it. But yeah, that whole like, if you find true light, you know, go to the light, and if it's true light, call me when you get there. Like, oh, that has a lot of meaning to it. It's almost like, if it's true light, tell me, because it's like she wants to go and find true light, what that might mean, happiness, you know, enlightenment and so on. But also true light could be death. If you find true light, you know, you find heaven or whatever. Tell me when you get there. Obviously that can't happen, but maybe it's a ghost that could or whatever. But and then she talks about missing the precious heart, so it's almost like it's died again. More death. Right, let's see what is written about it. Cosmia is a genus of moths. Moths have been known across cultures to symbolise mysteries, hidden meanings, transformations, determination, and faith. Moths are said to help one find light in the darkness, mirroring moths' attraction to flames. It's important to note that moths are nocturnal insects, as this song refers repeatedly to lonely nights. Ah, that makes sense. Ah, perhaps spent in the company of these moths, Cosmia is being summoned by the singer, who, in her grief, is seeking faith and consolation. Wonderful. And when I was thinking of like the cosmos, I imagine that moth kind of wanting to fly to the stars because of how bright they are, and so on. Oh, God, that's a wonderful song again. They're all wonderful. And yes, that is the end of the album. I smiled, I cried, I was entranced. I think this is probably one of the most different reactions I've done. I always feel like it might come across bad on camera. I might look really like not entertaining, but I'm not really here to be entertaining. I'm here to be myself. And if that's entertaining, then great. But I do realise that it might not always come across that way, but I won't know until I edit and so on. You know, I can't tell what my face looks like, whether you can see how into the song I am or whatever. All I can tell you is I was really into every single one of them. They broke my heart and absolutely ignited me all at once. And yeah, there's a lot to it that I do feel a little bit sad now, but not in a bad way. I just feel like pretty much just need to have a cool down after hearing that, because with how visceral it is, my mind went to like such beautiful images that it's kind of, I got to kind of come back to the real world and look around me and be like, oh yeah, 4 walls, bedroom, you know, reality. It's like getting lost in a book, isn't it? Thank you so much for watching, and I really do hope you enjoyed. I know I couldn't give much educated feedback on lots of things, but I gave you my raw reaction, and I suppose that's why you're here as much as anything, you know. Reactions are about a reaction, aren't they? I think I also always struggle to be like, I always feel like I need to be bringing something more to the table, but emotion and being into something is really the main thing we connect with anyway. But no, I do hope you enjoyed. Please do like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. I already said that. So I'm like, oh, I'm all exhausted now. But yeah, and please do comment and tell me your favourite song on the little albumy thing. Wow, she's amazing. I just feel a bit mind blown, so I'm all like, ooh. Anyway, yes. Bye.